Your radio's still in there.
Everything's pre-recorded, including the music. So this is our website. The music you heard is what we're broadcasting. We break for news talk. So again, feel comfortable. Don't be too nervous.
Getting ready for our December shows.
Ready?
Yes.
Give me yours. 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3.
Project.
1, 2, 3.
Okay.
Uh-oh, we probably should turn phones
Yeah,
off.
that's a good idea.
See, this happens.
Let's do that. Okay,
All right.
off.
Okay, so let's try this again. And
Okay. Listo.
No Spanish here.
Ready?
Hello there, this is Susan Hamilton, and you're listening to the Offbeat Business Show. Today I'm talking with Ed Garza of ROI Mantra. Now, Ed and I have been networking together for several months, and you'll find an earlier video that I did with him on location on our YouTube channel. And friends, I just want to remind you what we're all about. The Offbeat Business Show and Magazine represents 80% of American business owners that tend to be raising their children while they build their business. They're probably taking care of their parents at the same time. They probably have a teenager in their family that's either very, very active, possibly an addict. That's a huge problem in America today. Or we've got, we're exposed to a veteran in our business that's either bringing their skill and their discipline and allowing us to really be excellent in our businesses, or we're worried because they may have been struggling to reintegrate after deployment. So we try to make sure that everything that we bring you shows you how to be excellent at everything that you do in business, to be your go-to resource for the situation that you're doing business in today. And that's one of the things I really enjoy about Ed, because he knows how to get that website in front of the most people possible in the most efficient way possible. Ed, how are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic.
Hey, I'm so glad you agreed to come on such a dreary day. We're recording on a very dreary day, I've got to tell you.
Yes, it is. Well, we're going to get some more rain tonight, but that's okay.
Yes.
We can still have sunshine in our soul, right? So,
there you go. So, Ed, tell us a little bit about your company and a little bit about what people are really, that you see that they need right now. What is the biggest challenge that you're solving for people?
the biggest challenge for the majority of our clients and potential businesses that we meet with on a day-to-day basis is tracking the full customer journey when it comes to digital marketing and seeing exactly what marketing channels are bringing true revenue to their business. Instead of throwing darts at a dartboard and hoping to hit bullseye, our
Is that
company,
what marketing feels like to you?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
We take it more from, I guess, being in Texas, more of a rifle approach, and with a scope and finding out exactly what marketing channels, what keywords, what digital advertising is working, and then measuring that profit for clients and driving profit and helping them become champions in the marketplace.
So your company sees this need for us to understand where we're falling short, and
Right.
you start at the very beginning. So help our audience understand what is the beginning journey. Because as a business owner, I'm getting phone calls all the time from people that tell me they are a Google business and that they can't find me, which is always ridiculous. and
Sure.
if I ask them if they know the name of my company, they will not know the name. They'll call me without knowing the name of my company
Right.
or without knowing who I am. And this is a struggle for all of us today. We're going, who do we trust and who do we talk to?
Right. Well, first of all, from a customer's perspective, our entire team, which consists of close to 200 employees, we're very transparent, first of all. We have 0 contracts. Our job is to help a client generate profit. So the major problem in small business really today when it comes to home service companies, healthcare practitioners, specifically specialty services, or even mortgage professionals, bankers,
Mm-hmm.
loans, whatever kind of service industry they're in, is that measurement. So that is really kind of the first step to what we call profit-driven marketing. It was a term that was developed about 4 years ago by Google executives, and they had attempted to evangelize it, and it died a horrible death. And unbeknownst to them, we were coming up with a concept. We had no idea about it. We started to say, doesn't it make sense to measure a call and see what marketing comes in? So we developed the end-to-end measurement process, which end-to-end meaning tracking the customer journey from the click to the phone call all the way into the estimate and, of course, the invoice and the paying of that accounts receivable. So we are all about driving that traffic so we could see specifically what campaigns are working, and then we could amplify that, clone that, so that you could drive more profit. So end-to-end measurement really is the first step in tying in marketing analytics, tying in technology. That means billing systems, that means invoicing systems, tying that all into the marketing, tying in CRM, meaning something like Salesforce, or tying in Pipedrive is another great CRM, and tying that into the calls, tying that into the revenue, so that you actually can get a statement at the end of the month, much like you would get a bank statement. You know exactly what you spent, and you know exactly what you made.
Yeah, it's interesting. That's a part of my heart. When my sister and I owned a national full-service marketing agency, we were one of the only companies that was offering reporting for that reason.
Right.
We wanted to make sure it does several things on both ends, doesn't it? On the one hand, it helps that business owner see where their dollar's going, but on the other hand, it gives us then that professional advantage to help and guide them to make better choices if, in fact, what they're doing is not working.
Correct.
And that's common. There's a lot of times when things are not working, but you don't know where. And one of the things that we noticed early on with SEO is you could do everything perfect. You could do absolutely everything the way it's supposed to be done, but if you're not paying attention to the way that phone call is being answered, if your staff in your front line has no idea what you're doing online,
right,
you don't really know where you've lost that sale, because that person is coming in possibly with this information that you are sharing with them online, and there's no understanding of it with the front line. It's a pretty big disconnect, and companies as big as Target and Lowe's do this on quite a regular basis. So we're not immune to that problem.
Right. The problem is it's a heavy lifting project. There's a lot of data that needs to be analyzed every single day if you truly want to implement profit-driven marketing. You got to you got to buy into the concept that end-to-end measurement is very important, and the whole process, like you say, with 100% of our clients, we implement a process with call tracking that is very important, so that we record the phone calls that come in, so that your customer service reps can be scored by you, so that our team can see what calls are coming in, what keywords are working, what campaigns are working, whether it's Facebook, social, or a video like this. Is it working? So all those tracking metrics are important, and it starts with the phone call. And then what happens after that is, is there an appointment set? Is there a consultation set? Is there an estimate scheduled on the books? And then what happens with that estimate? So you got to follow that process and that measurement for that customer all the way down the rabbit hole. Otherwise, you're going to miss out and you won't know. You're guessing at that point.
And it's such a huge problem, because the 80% of American small businesses are family-owned businesses of 9 employees or less, and that dynamic tends to change inside of a family business. And when we're talking family business, we are talking about your average residential service company, but auto dealerships are often family businesses. There are a lot of things that you would not expect to consider in the family business realm, and it's different because by then your accountability isn't necessarily to someone who's merely your boss. You've got that extra dynamic, that interesting part that they're probably related to you and you may not get along.
Yeah,
And
right.
So you've got that. So that accountability becomes more and more important, and I definitely see that's one of the things I really love about what you're doing. That phone call, to be able to know what's being said and what works, allows you as a business owner to develop a more effective script, which you could not do if you don't know. For instance, I grew up in a family business, and one of the conversations that I heard frequently was, and tell me if this rings true to you, Ed.
Sure.
But so how'd the phone calls go today? Oh, they went great. So did you? What's on the schedule for tomorrow? Well, we're going to have a couple people call back. So were they interested? Yes, I think so. Right? Did we get anywhere with that? And so now in a family business, in an effort to keep the peace, a lot of times you just go, well, that's the way it is. When in fact, if there was a script written out and a way to pursue that business, and a way to respond to those calls in a more effective manner, that's not saying that script's going to work right away. But
Right.
it definitely, with your tools, you can then decide what is working and what's not, because you should be closing those calls by the time they are coming in and the phone's ringing. You ought to have a full schedule when that phone's ringing a lot. If the phone's ringing a lot and your schedule isn't full, we got a problem somewhere.
Right, and that leads right to our second step in profit-driven marketing, which I think you'll love, is optimization of that profit. Once we see where channels are working, what message is working, what creative piece is working, then we make decisions based on that, and we optimize for profit. And that's the whole goal. That usually takes 3 to 4 weeks for even a small company that has a decent, small budget. I can tell you this, though. There are big companies out there with 67, 87 locations that are having the same problem as small businesses. They're not measuring. They have no true tracking metric to track the customer's journey. They could be in 80 locations around the country and they're still having issues. As a matter of fact, Bank of America and Wells Fargo just implemented this process once they realized that some of the big boys like Quicken Loans and all these other software companies have dominated the marketplace, right? And they realized we need to implement this process of measurement and then optimizing for profit, where you could tweak it, to sort of turn on the cash machine in ATM. And that's, at that point, you start buying profit and budgets go out the window, because at that point, if you have a marketing budget, it's like there's no end to it. Now you're buying profit. So
Do you hear that phrase, friends? You're
Yeah.
buying profit. Do you see the
Yeah.
difference that makes in everything that you're doing? Ed, I love
Huge.
that. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I had a thought, and they're like, whoop!
It's a new paradigm
Yeah.
shift for a lot of businesses, right? I mean, how many times do you have an ad agency yourself? I mean, for many years, the number one question an ad agency rep asks is, what's your marketing budget, right? And they always quiver in their chair, and everybody quivers, and they're all kind of like, well, I don't know what my ad budget is. Well, it's $20,000 a year is what I have. Okay,
Yeah.
as an example.
And I tell you what, the majority of businesses don't have that. A lot of people, when we ask them about marketing budgets, they don't understand it. And what's so important for you to know, friends, is that this is such a huge group of us that you've got to recognize that to have a marketing budget is one of the smartest things you could do, because you're not going to grow without that. You really do need to get it. And now I remember what I was going to say to you, Ed, is that when you look at all the SEO factors, you dabble in an area I don't. Mine has always been in the content area,
which is important.
Content and social media make up about 60% of those SEO criteria, because you need to know what language you're using and how you're going about that. And Google always wants to know human behavior, and that's how they learn that.
That's right.
Those are the ways to do it. But even what I tell them when we work on a content marketing strategy, we look at, okay, how are we going to use this message throughout the year? And I promise you, it's a baseline measurement. If you've never done it before, you need to start understanding what works and what doesn't, and you can't without doing something. You have to start somewhere.
Absolutely.
And from that, then you can continue to grow and grow and grow and grow and grow. But that first step, that's really crucial.
And a lot of businesses, we start off with that first step, and it takes time, depending upon, especially a small business. It's simple for a small guy to implement end-to-end measurement, and then it's our job to optimize the profit. And then after that, it's a matter of teaching them to reinvest their profit and grow. That's about it. That's profit-driven marketing in a nutshell. It's true accountability.
I love that, Ed. Friends, when we get we're going to take a short break, and you're going to hear from some of our sponsors. And when we get back, we're going to talk to Ed Garza with ROI Mantra again. And I hope you're enjoying this, and I hope you're getting a feel for what you're going to experience with our event coming up this spring. Because ROI Mantra will be there, Google will be there, and you're going to get an understanding face-to-face, and just ask those questions. Ask those things that you don't know. And I want you to realize how approachable Mr. Garza is, because you're going to be able to learn so much about this. So we're going to go take a short break. When we get back, we're going to continue talking with them. You're listening to the Offbeat Business Show.
Sounds good. Are we speaking well? You got plenty of time.
Okie dokie.
Feeling okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so this is what we do. We check messages during our break.
Yeah, right.
And,
Go ahead.
Okay, do this real quick. All right, so, and we're back. So as soon as he tells us we're back, we're back. Friends, we're doing this with an iPad and a stand that we got from the Joy Factory. You can look them up online. This is very simple to do. And we're just using the camera function, and we're connected to YouTube Capture. That makes it very, very simple to load this in a private mode onto our YouTube channel, where then we can go ahead and get the description right and get this SEO'd the way it needs to be so that you can find it later. And we'll be talking more about that in January, so pay attention to these shows. So here we go. About to get started again.
This part, when we close, I'll give you the 2 minute warning. She'll be asking you contact information. So if you give the website, phone number, email, whatever that you want them to get.
Okay.
Okay, here we go.
And we're back. This is Susan Hamilton. You're listening to the Offbeat Business Show, and I'm talking to Ed Garza with ROI Mantra. He's helping us understand something called profit-driven marketing, which makes so much sense. And he's used a couple phrases here. I hope you're really enjoying. All right.
Yeah.
I mean, I love this. So spell them again. What did you have?
So the 3 steps: end-to-end measurement, making sure you measure the customer's full journey from the phone call click all the way to the time that they pay you. Click, ching, ching, right? Then the next step is for us to optimize profit. And that means to optimize your campaigns digitally, whether it's social, whether it's video blogging, whether it's paid media with Google, AdWords, display advertising, getting your name and footprint out there. We want to optimize that and let the profit drive our content. Let the profit drive our creative design so that you're buying profit rather than sticking yourself to a budget. I mean, if you could stick in $1 in a machine, a slot machine, and make $10 every time, how many times would you do it? Right? At that point, budgets go out the window. You will drive profit and continue to drive profit as long as you feel comfortable doing that. And of course, right?
Let's talk about that.
That's right.
That's interesting. You know, we don't really have a clear idea of what it takes because we think it's a spend.
That's correct.
We think it's a spend. But there's so many different things that we can do today. One, what would you say, one of the things that I run into a lot with small business owners when they start realizing content and creation is so important in what they're doing. And for instance, this is content, and it's
That's
content
right.
in several forms, right? This is on video, this is on audio, and I can transcribe this if I want, so I can get all the verbiage,
Right.
verbatim. That's all content. But some people feel like it's intensely personal to be getting involved in this space, and they might do or say something wrong, right?
Right.
Like, oh no, what if I say or do something wrong? It will just destroy my reputation. People are very, very concerned about that. I had a client one time say, I don't know if we can use the word best. Can't we get sued if they say we're the
Sure.
best? And I said, there is no marketing if you're not the best. I don't have anything for you. I can't come with you and say you're almost as good as the next guy.
Right.
It doesn't work. There isn't anything for that. So there's some sensitivity about what it should be in this type of content. You had some really interesting approaches, and one of them that you're going to see on our website as we're developing what Ed had suggested. Tell us about what you were saying about the FAQs and
Sure.
how helpful and how different it can be today.
Right. Well, of course, Google likes to educate their consumer, right? Their main customer is somebody searching for something and looking for information. So the Google robots go out there and look for authority, right, when it comes to SEO and content. When they get to a website, they want to make sure the customer's experience is pleasant and enjoyable from every perspective. So there's a lot of different rules when it comes to that. However, one of the rules that I think works very effectively is digitizing your frequently asked questions and making those right. You digitize them. So if you may have some frequently asked questions that people ask in your industry. you not only type those out, but actually shoot small videos with those frequently asked questions and post them on your marketing channels, including your website.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe have some should ask questions, and that's the real meat and potatoes of why you're doing this, because those should ask questions that they should be asking is what sets you apart. That's what makes you different.
I love that, and that's what we're all about, because I'm also using a new phrase these days, Ed. I didn't tell you, but I started doing this just recently. I saw B4B, and I realized that's what we really are. We're more B4B than we are B2B.
Right.
Right. So
that's right.
It's a huge thing, and to bring them in and help them help business owners find things as easily as they possibly can. We can't do our job of really helping American business shine without that crucial step.
Absolutely. You got to stand out in the marketplace.
Authority.
I mean, let's face it. If you're in business, you're in show business.
Huh. That's cool.
You really are. You're in show business.
You got to
create
your own celebrity, don't you?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
if you can't do it, you always can hire someone to do it.
Mm-hmm.
You can. There's all kinds of video platforms. You could do a video platform in PowerPoint if you wanted to. I mean, you could put your questions in there. If you don't like being on the camera, then just do an audio and do a voiceover. Good software for that is Camtasia, right? There's all sorts of ways to get your content out there.
I will say Camtasia is not real easy for someone who isn't well versed in it, but it is not impossible. And one of the things that I found is the media programs that they use at your high schools.
Yeah.
Really are very similar to what Camtasia offers. So if you employ your teenagers, this is a prime area where you can use them to really create this for you.
Yeah, the millennials are huge.
Yeah,
by the way.
they know how to do this stuff. So if you don't know how to do it, it doesn't have to be the end of the world. But building your own reputation, your credibility, that's one thing the Offbeat Business Show and magazine does for business owners, is we want every business owner in our magazine to be the one the other business owners quote. That's what we're looking for.
That's right.
We want them to be the go-to resource. And when that happens, now you've just elevated your income, haven't you?
Absolutely.
Now people that have the money to spend in a place where they can trust that the work will get done well, that's the authority and the brand strengthener that we really need today.
That's right. Here's one more nugget that I'll throw out there in terms of content marketing. In addition to the questions, I encourage every small business, and I think you would too, to get behind a cause. We call it. It's called passion marketing. Is what we
there's
call
a name for it?
Actually, it's a new term that just came out. It was at a summit that our CEO went to called conscious capitalism. If you can think.
I remember him talking about conscious capitalism, but he's calling it passion marketing. Is kind of interesting.
Right. You become passionate. Like our passion, our ROI mantra, is to have love and respect for our clients and for each other. And if there's no love there, because we put a lot of heart into our clients, we really want them to be successful. Just like you say, B for B, right? We're businesses for business. We want to see them successful.
Yeah.
And we have heart behind that. But finding that cause here's why we should consider it. The millennials in our day and time in the U.S. represent about 40% of the marketplace. In 10 years from now, they'll represent upwards of 70% of our marketplace. The millennials are very cause-driven. They think a little differently. Do some research on millennials as a consumer. They're a little bit harder to really crack that nut.
The thing of it is, Ed, that as a content therapist for several years, I've known for some time that if you can't get a business owner fired up about why to use content and why it matters, they won't use it. They don't care. So that's actually an area that's very sensitive to me, and I, yell it from the rooftops all the time. Friends, whatever makes you cry, the thing that moves you, what moves you to be in business today, that's not a private story to your business. That's the backstory of what you're doing. And it's your connection device with your community. That's what's going to help you relate better to them. That's what's going to help them trust you. Because that consumer out there today really wants to know, as a business, you are their advocate. You're in their corner. You got their back. And using content in that way is really the smartest thing you could do. Load up the content, your own media library on your website with information that backs that up, that addresses it. Take those infographics when you're on a walk, or you're on a march, or you're at a fundraiser.
Absolutely.
And invite other people to do it as well. Good.
Yeah, millennials will buy something even if it's more expensive if they believe in the cause behind it.
I think all of us would. I
Pretty
think
much.
all of us would.
Pretty
I think
much,
that
yeah.
that's across the board. I do think you hit the nail on the head, though, because that particular group uses social more than we
They
do.
sure do.
And they're much more savvy at it, and they can get that information out in places that you probably aren't dabbling in.
That's right.
Because
That's
I'm
right.
not in everything, and I
they
don't.
get behind you. That's
Sure.
they become an army for you.
Yeah.
Really, they really do.
No, that's a huge point.
You started with it at the beginning of the interview. You talked about some of the causes that you're passionate
Mm-hmm.
about, right? Some of the points of what you're trying to accomplish with this show. And I marvel you for that, because that cause of educating businesses that, even if they're startup, veterans and military that are being, coming back into society, into the U.S. and starting businesses or working for companies, and they need help. I think that's fantastic what you're doing.
Dad, thank you. It's the majority of us, and it's not just that. My heart goes out. I am very involved and proactive when it comes to criminal justice legislation. Those are the things that interest me also. The things that we have for far too long been separating from business actually do impact us in a very real way. Any networking that you do, you might have one of those little family shames, right? Some addiction going on with your teenagers,
Sure.
some rebellion going on in the house that's really destructive or dangerous, or maybe even a mental health issue. All of those things can happen, but when legislation comes in, and when all of a sudden you're impacted with those types of things because you were too busy with your nose to the grindstone, this was taking up all your time, this huge issue in your life, that big part of your heart,
Right.
when it disrupts you in business. And it's supposed to. You're supposed to be able to give it your all. But it's very, very hard to do all of that. Now you add these things that are not in your favor, because these laws are, as often, they're not thinking about the impact that they have on families and how then we can solve that problem, but rather those continual revolving doors. And that's very much the same way with veterans' causes. We need to get them on their feet. They have given us their everything. They signed a blank check for their life, and they're coming back a lot of times with parts of them missing. And we need to make sure that we haven't left anyone without absolutely every resource that they need. So to me, the best thing we can do is kick butt at our businesses, do
That's right.
awesome at your business. And when we have resources like what ROI Mantra has to offer, and platforms like the Offbeat Business Show magazine, now we can change the focus, can't we? Now we can show people
Absolutely.
what works right in American business.
That's
today.
right. Yeah, don't spend another, well, I won't say it that way, in our case, but really when it comes to marketing, if you are spending money on AdWords and you're not measuring it, I would consider stopping it until you start getting measurement, right? And let's start making you money. Let's start helping each other grow.
And I tell people that all the time. If you're a small business owner doing your own AdWords, I promise you are wasting money. This is an area for a professional who knows this spot inside out and backwards. Do not fiddle around with this, because you will throw money down a rabbit hole. It can go. It can disappear, evaporate into thin air, as you've probably been seeing it for quite some time. So talk to Ed. Go to roimantra.com. Ed, how else can they reach you today?
Well, if you want to send me a text message or call me and you want to set up a free consultation, no strings attached. I mean, we want to educate small businesses. We'll even educate other ad agencies if they're interested and they want to learn. There's not a big percentage of ad agencies that are implementing this for their clients. We would love the opportunity to show you more about the metrics and the details that are involved in profit-driven marketing. You could call me or text me at 469-528-7778.
And can you repeat that?
That's 469-528-7778.
And friends, this is a Google partner business that knows how to get you found, but more than that, they know how to make sure you're making money on the money that you're spending. That profit-driven marketing is so, so important. Ed, thank you so much for your time today. I appreciate you so much and sharing this information with our audience. Friends, if you did not write this down, know that you'll be able to always find the information that you need at offbeatbusiness.com. That's where you'll find our upcoming lineup. You'll find our replays. You'll find our magazines. You'll find our individual articles and all of our social media information. If you have not downloaded your Offbeat Business app, do that today so that information's at your fingertips. You'll find that in Google Play, on the iPhone store, get iTunes, Get what you need to get connected with us, because I will continue. My commitment to you is to always share the very, very best. This is Susan Hamilton. You've been listening to the Offbeat Business Show.
Cool.